Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you my method for sealing up food in Mylar bags for long-term storage. Alright everybody, thanks for joining me today. I have a very simple task that probably for new preppers might seem like a bit of a daunting task. It's really easy. What we're going to be doing today, and what I decided to do too, was seal up some of my prepackaged food. Excuse me, I'm eating something. Seal up some of my prepackaged food in Mylar bags. Now last night I did this 5 pounds of sugar here. The reason I did this is because I wanted you to see what it looks like about 12 hours after you seal it up. It's starting to, this had a lot of air in it. I didn't get the air out effectively. It's starting to suck down and tighten up. We're going to move that. What I'm doing for my storeroom today is sealing up some sugar that I recently purchased at the Smith's case sale. And I'm also going to be sealing up these items for a different project. And that project is going to basically contain as much food as I can put in a 5-gallon bucket sealed up. So I want these packed up nice and tight. And I'm going to explain to you how to do it. Now obviously, sealing it in the Mylar bag is fairly simple. You stick the food in the bag, you take that iron, or you can use a hair straightener, you know, those hot clippy things. I don't know the correct name for them. Straightening hair, basically, is what they do. And you can seal the bag. I used for this one I used the iron. And you just seal it. You take a piece of wood, fold over the top, get as much air out of the bag as possible, and seal it down. But the trick comes in using the oxygen absorbers. Alright? Now most of the time these bags are used in conjunction with oxygen absorbers. Removing the O2 will decrease the chance of bugs hatching, bugs thriving inside your food. And yes, no matter what, there's always some bugs in most food. There's actually a USDA, I think, standard of how many bugs per parts per billion are allowed in your food. So this will kill it. Now the trick is with the oxygen absorbers. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. You can see these have been sealed back up, and they're not just taped. I actually melted that closed. The tape's just for good measure. If you leave these out too long, they will become useless. What they do inside here is take out all the oxygen and moisture, suck everything. So eventually this will be packed really tight. Eventually it'll be packed down like I vacuum packed it. It takes 12 to 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours before that happens. It's already fairly stiff. So it's getting there. But the oxygen absorbers will go bad if you expose them to air for too long. You have anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes to seal them back up before they start to activate. So that's why what you do with this is what you're going to do is take all your food, you're going to put it all in Mylar bags out here, then you're going to drop the oxygen absorbers into each one, and then I reseal the oxygen absorbers right away if I have any left over. So this way I'm not exposing them, closing them back and forth a bunch of times for each individual one. So that's how I'm going to do it. Remember when you're sealing up the bags, and I'll show you all this, we're going to do this. You want to take out as much air as possible. That I kind of failed with this one. I didn't take out as much air as I should have, and the oxygen absorber is having to work harder. But it's still working. It's still sucking it in and getting it nice and vacuum sealed. So what I do is I will fill up the bag. I'll take a straight edge of some kind. I can't find my straight edge at the moment. So what I'm going to use is a stand from one of my Target stands. It's ridiculously long, but I just need this part here. And if I wanted to, I could just cut that off and buy another one. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stick this on my counter and just use this edge. You just fold the bag over, take the iron, run it over. Put your iron on your hottest setting. You will not melt this bag. Very hard to melt a Mylar bag. So you won't melt it. You will melt the plastic on here, but it wipes right off. So what I'm going to do is get this all set up for you, and I'm going to show you how I do it. We're going to probably put out the bags so you can start seeing how it works. The bags come off of, you can buy them pretty much anywhere. They come with the oxygen absorbers most of the time. I bought these off of Amazon, and inside were the oxygen absorbers. I will put a link at the bottom. These are OxySorb. I'll put a link down at the bottom where you can pick these up, and I will put a couple different types in my store. These are the 1 gallon. You can get the 5-gallon ones for your 5-gallon buckets. I have those. I seal my big storage stuff in them. But for today, we're just doing it the small bags. And some of the bags I'm going to have to cut, like with this one and these, because I'm not going to need that whole space. But you can reuse these bags. Let's say 4 years from now I want to use this sugar. Well, I cut the top, I open it up, but I save the bag because I can reuse it. I can still reseal it. as long as I get all the sugar out. I generally wouldn't cross-contaminate foods. You know, I wouldn't stick rice in here after that. I'd just stick more sugar in here and leave it labeled. So let me get everything set up. Let me get my bags out, and we'll show you how it works. All right, so I got, as you can tell, all the other bags filled up. Didn't want to sit here and make you watch that. But we'll do one bag together, and then we'll bust out the oxygen absorbers and drop them in every bag and seal them up. So it's a fairly simple process. Really all you're going to do, just like any other bag, it's got a front. I am going to write the rice, the date it was packed. So let's see, rice, and it's 3/1/19, and this is going to be 2 pounds. You don't need to write the weight on there. I'm doing it because I'm doing this for a different project, and we're going to do a 5-gallon bucket just packed with food, see how many calories we can pack in. So I want to be able to estimate how many calories I have in there. So now obviously this isn't going to fill up the whole bag. So I'll show you what you can do. As you can tell, my pinto beans back there, I cut the bag down. So you're just going to cut this open. And you can use a scoop if you want, but for smaller things like this, you know, if you're doing a 50-gallon bucket of something, yeah, I'd use a scoop. But for smaller stuff like this, I wouldn't worry about it. Make sure that when you're doing this, your hands are clean. The area you're working is, you know, not contaminated. I know I'm out here in my garage, but I know that what I'm doing here isn't contaminating food anywhere. All right, so what I kind of do with this is I'll take it like this now and see. I probably want to cut off about that much because I can roll this up and seal it. So I'm going to take it across like that. If you notice, I'm being careful with this arm because I've got the iron right there. Okay, so garbage out of the way over there. Now this is where I said you just want to open up your oxygen absorbers and drop stuff in. Let me back up the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I told you that I seal this right back up. So I am going to put this piece of wood down just to seal it on. And it's done. So let's open that up. And I know I'm going to use a lot of these, so I'm not worried about it. You see how they're still soft and supple? When they're like that, they're still good. You're just going to drop one in each. It depends. Now with a 5-gallon, I'd probably put a 50-gallon. I'd probably put, 5-gallon. I don't know where I'm going today. I would probably put 2 in. But for a gallon and under, 1 is fine. And I got a couple over here. I'm sealing up some sides from MREs and some instant oatmeal for my other project. So, it's off camera, but you get the idea. All right, so we're done now, right? We got these down. I'm going to get them as low as I possibly can. Nice and flat, and I want to preserve them. So, I'm doing this in reverse. I always say I should film from this side, but I always end up filming from this side. So what I'm going to do with these is just melt it. Melt it closed. You might get a little of this on your iron. No big deal. Comes right off. Now I have water in there for steam, but it didn't get in there, of course. And there you go. Now those are preserved and ready. Now for added protection later on, I'll fold this over and stick some tape over the top just to make sure. But you want to keep these good for as long as possible, and this is the way to do it. So now I'm going to do one of these bags just as an example. Real quick here. Let's take this little one. Make sure you got your oxygen absorber in there. And I try to make it as flat as possible because I want this to be able to either stack this way or this way neatly. And I'm going to, whoops. Now I drop everything. There we go. Tuck that in there. I'm going to stick this underneath here and just bring it up like this. Get as much air as you can out of the bag because you don't want the oxygen absorber to have to work harder than it has to. And now, I'm just going to seal the bag. Now be careful when you're using a short little fat bag like I am here that you don't mess up this part here. But that bag is sealed now. There you go. Permanently sealed. So what I'm going to do is pack up the rest of these bags, and I'll bring you back when it's all done, and I'll show you what it looks like stacked up instead of in those big ugly blocks. Alright, so there it is. I did put the other ones that you didn't see off camera. One is just some MRE sides, some instant rice and potatoes, and some instant oatmeal. They were in a box that had been sitting in the wrong place in my storeroom for probably 2 years. So it was time to straighten them out. Now, one of the ways you can test when it's not fully done, like this is getting better. This is the one I did last night. But one of the ways you can test is when you push down on it, is there resistance at the seal? In other words, this I just sealed. You're not seeing the air come out of it when you push down on it. It's holding it. If you push down on it and you hear a hiss, or you see the bag get flat, you know your seal isn't good. So that's one of the ways you can test. And again, these will take anywhere from 24 hours to even up to a week for some of the bigger bags, you know, your 5-gallon bags, to suck down and shrink down and kind of look like they were sealed by a vacuum sealer. So what I'm going to do with the sugar that's going back on my storage racks is I'm just going to put it flat like this. So it gets nice and flat and thin. Then when it's all done, I just stack it up like that, one after the other. It makes a lot easier packing away of it, you know, instead of the little blocks of 1 pound of sugar or 5 pounds or whatever. This way it's all in one bag right there. So that's pretty much it. It's real simple. Again, you don't need to put away instant rice and potatoes and MRE sides. I just did that mainly for the space, because it was in this box sitting there in the corner. Then I can just stack it on my racks and not have to worry about it. And it's no longer in that big box that was blocking where I was putting some of my new Thrive cans. So now it's nice and organized. But your sugar, your flour, all that stuff, you can do it up like this. Some people will say to pack it flat when you're doing it and put it over. I find that if you do get it where you see how this one here is kind of thin on the top and fat on the bottom, you still have more than enough time to shake that down and flatten it up like that. So don't worry about it. Anyway, that is sealing your food in Mylar bags. This is how I do it. I've been doing this for a while. I get my Mylar bags off of Amazon. There is a place called Winco. If you have a Winco store near you, they have a bulk storage area. They also sell the big 5-gallon bags and the oxygen absorbers. And that's actually where I got my first stuff from Winco when I started doing this, because I had no idea how to do it. So it's real simple to do. You can see, what, for a couple bucks, you got, I probably here, for me at least, have a lifetime supply of sugar, because I'm not a big sugar eater. But, you know, if I want to scoop with something, or a little scoop on fruit, or in your cereal, or whatever, you know, you got it. So it's nice and stored away. Anyway, folks, that's the video for today. I will put the link down below where you can pick up these bags. Where are they? They're over on the side here. And the bags do come with oxygen absorbers, and you see how well that does seal up. You know, there's no way of getting in there. So a month from now, those will still be good to use. I will put that link down below. I will also put that them in my Amazon store in different sizes. So if you don't see the one link you want, you can go to my Amazon store and you can pick a couple of different sizes if you want bigger or smaller ones. Don't forget to check out the Amazon store. Click the link down below. You can shop in my store. If there's nothing in there you like, just click the link and shop as you normally would. It helps out the channel a whole lot. And don't forget to check out our Thrive Life sale. Our Thrive Life site, I mean. And we're definitely going to try out some of this stuff with Thrive Life. If I can make like a smaller, I want to get some smaller bags and do like a small freeze-dried portable meal. Just throw in the oxygen absorber with it. See how small I can get it to compact down. That would be kind of a fun project. If you make a little pre-made, kind of like a pre-made freeze-dried meal like you'd get from a Mountain House or something. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.